Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Sri Lanka. And my name is Ryan, keeping you company. It's a rainy Wednesday morning, but I hope everything is warm and dry wherever you may be. If you're on your way out, please do bring your rain gear. Today is the 10th of October. It is a Wednesday. And as we kick off the show, let's look at some of the major stories that made headlines for today, the 10th of October, a Wednesday. Well, it's all about, first off, it's all about the controversy that's surrounding the judiciary. District judges, magistrates urge judicial independence. Reading a little bit into this, while vehemently condemning the assault on Judicial Service Commission Secretary Manjula Tilakaratna, the Judicial Service Association of Sri Lanka yesterday unanimously adopted a set of resolutions meant to strengthen the independence of the judiciary and the rule of law. At the special general meeting, the GMSL, which comprises district judges and magistrates, decided to resume court proceedings from today, which is good news. Reading into another story, Ranil once committee appointed opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday in Parliament stressed the need to appoint an independent committee to see whether there is a conflict between the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive at the moment. Also something to be warned, according to a report. This is according to Health Minister Mitrapala Sirisena. He has instructed the National Drugs and Cosmetic Devices Authority, or NDCDA, Chairman Dr. Hemanta Benaragama, to make arrangement to prohibit the production, distribution, and sale of cough syrups under the CORX label following the alleged death of 5 individuals from an overdose of the said cough syrup. Also, vehicles to get AAA numbers, that's AAA. Vehicle number plates beginning with 3 English letters introduced recently by the Motor Traffic Department can accommodate up to 6.4 million vehicles in its registry. And a little read into this one. According to statistics here, Motor Traffic Department has issued 3,046,008 vehicles with the English letter series. That's from August 1, 2000 till June 30, 2012. So expect a new kind of license plate to be issued starting today. Now, still with local news, post offices could shut down. This is a major concern. There are insufficient staff to do all the work, so only the very basic work of dispatching letters is carried out in most post offices today. Postal Union said yesterday that there are over 2,000 vacancies that needed to be filled at post offices countrywide, and warned that post offices could shut down next year if the vacancies were not filled. And a little stat into this, there are 6,500 post offices in the country. And because we're here to tell you what's happening, according to reports, 9-hour power cuts in certain areas. So please be advised that the power supply will be interrupted today in several areas where electricity is supplied by the Lanka Electricity Company Private Limited. And it will be from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. It will be, the areas affected will be Panadura, Horana Road, Sir James Spears Mawata, and connected by roads, the Old Kotawa Road, Jonathan Mawata, High Level Road, and connected by roads in the Navina Patiragoda area. Also affected, Negombo Road, Kandana Church Road, Ganemula Road, Peralanda Road, and connected by roads. And in the Kalutara area, it's the Payagala and Mangona areas, and that will be from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. So please make the necessary arrangement when it comes to your daily activities, especially when you need power. Now, moving into the business section of the dailies, top Lanka team for IMF World Bank annual meetings in Tokyo. Senior Minister Dr. Sarat Amonogama, Central Bank Governor Nivard Cabral, and senior team finance ministry officials to attend the key meetings. So that will be in Tokyo. Also, good news, Sri Lanka lifts travel advisory on South India. The government has lifted a travel advisory against South India after assurances by the Indian authorities that they would provide security to all arrivals, according to the External Affairs statement. A travel advisory was issued last month after 184 Sri Lankan pilgrims were attacked in Tamil Nadu and had to be brought back on a special flight chartered by President Mahinda Rajapaksa. So that is good news. And also a little bit still in business, Sri Lanka economy to grow 6.7% in 2012, according to the International Monetary Fund, or IMF. Yes, they have adjusted Sri Lanka's growth forecast as the global lender is now saying that that Sri Lanka's economy would grow 6.7% over 2012 and 2013, with a longer-term forecast of 6.5% in 2017. Now, let's look at the most action-packed section of the newspaper. That is, of course, the sports section. On headline, Sri Lanka save ICC blushes. Host team agreed to reverse captaincy switch only at ICC's request. ICC officials had given an assurance that Sri Lanka would not be penalized unjustly and made it clear that as long as the team showed intent on the field to bowl their overs quickly. Following reading a little bit more into this, embarrassed International Cricket Council ICC officials pleaded with the Sri Lanka cricket team management to reverse the host team's smart move to sidestep ICC's regulations during the ICC World T20 by switching the captaincies, according to sources. Also, still with the recently concluded T20 World Cup, fixing scandals discussed at SLC emergency meeting. According to the Code of Conduct for local umpires, they cannot divulge any information to outsiders. Sri Lanka Cricket Umpires Committee summoned an emergency meeting to discuss the match-fixing controversy surrounding 3 premier panel umpires and viewed the Indian TV program which showed the alleged fixing evidence. And I think that's it for most of the stories on the sports section. Now moving into entertainment. Well, if you're familiar with Sarah Palin's daughter, Bristol Palin, well, she's back on the reality board. On Monday, Dancing with the Stars all-star Bristol Palin burst into tears and stormed out of her partner Mark Ballas's during a rehearsal session. And Anderson Cooper calls the single mom's moment of weakness brilliant TV, and he said anyone who is in a reality shows knows that to get attention you have to have a wardrobe malfunction, throw up, or have a breakdown, have a storyline. And he said Bristol Palin is a genius because last night she developed a storyline that made her very sympathetic. But later into Anderson Cooper's statements, he says that these are the people who needs to get real jobs. If you're having breakfast right now, my deepest apologies, but this is something just caught our eye when it comes to entertainment and a little bit of the EU side of things. The winner, believe it or not, there is a roach eating contest in South Florida, and the winner of the roach eating contest in South Florida died shortly after downing, once again, my apologies, a dozen of live bugs as well as worms. Okay, about 30 contestants ate the insects during the contest, and Ben Siegel's reptiles that was held at Ben Siegel's reptile store in Deerfield Beach, about 40 miles south of Miami. The grand prize wasn't money; it was a python. Edward Archibald, 32, of West Palm Beach, became ill shortly after the contest ended and collapsed in front of the store, according to the sheriff's office. He was taken to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Authorities were waiting for the result of an autopsy to determine a cause of death. There you go. 30 individuals joining a roach-eating contest where you can take home a python. And with that, we need to take a very short break. I think everyone needs to take a moment. We'll be back with more of GMSL. Welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. It is a Wednesday, folks, a rainy Wednesday. I hope you're, like what I said at the kickstart of the show, you're dry and you're warm. If you're on your way out, please do bring your rain gear. If you're about to have breakfast and you can't seem to finalize or to convince yourself what you need, well, we got a very special cooking segment coming your way. And this is especially for those who always been fascinated with cuisine from the New Orleans area, you know, the Cajun cooking. So get a paper, get a pen, write it down, and hopefully sometime later you'll be able to duplicate what Chef Anthony is about to show us. So ladies and gentlemen, for your enjoyment on a rainy Wednesday, this is Cajun cooking with Chef Anthony.
Mount Lavinia Hotel. My name is Chef Anthony Bradley, and I would like to say it's a pleasure to be on your show, Good Morning Sri Lanka. Today, we are going to make a bourbon prawn dish. It's Cajun New Orleans style. It's going to be fresh prawns, some onions, Creole Cajun blend, butter, sugar, salt, pepper, and is served over rice. This is a simple dish, mainly served as an appetizer. but if you can easily turn it into a main course. After that, we're going to add a little bit of bourbon to the pan. We're going to take the pan off the flame because we don't want to cause a fire, and bourbon will ignite once it hits the pan. So then we're going to add the Tabasco sauce. We want to saute everything up together when the sugar gets nice and caramelized, and we're going to pour it over the rice. A little bit of butter. Next, we're going to add some onions. And you want to cook these until they get nice and soft, almost translucent in color. Next, we will add the prawns. And you don't want to cook these too much because you want them to still be nice and tender when they go out to the guests. Next, I'm going to add my seasonings. A little bit of Cajun, some sugar, salt, fresh ground black pepper. At this point, this is where you want to remove the pan from the flame. You want to pour in your bourbon, roughly about 3 ounces. Now here's where you want to step back because this will light on fire. Allow this to cook. The flame will go out, so there'll be, at this point, there'll be no more alcohol in the dish, but you will receive the flavor from the alcohol. A couple dashes of Tabasco, and we finish it with just a little bit of whole butter just to give it some richness and flavor to the sauce. Now your dish is pretty much complete. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some of our rice, and we're just going to have a nice little pile. We don't want too much because it is meant to be served as an appetizer. The sauce is nice, thick, rich, and full of flavor. And we pour this right over the rice and let it run off into the plate. This is our bourbon prawn dish, served over rice.